Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have once again, some of the dumbest stuff we've ever had a chance to go and see, and these are always some of my funnest things to go make content on, especially like before we go and actually make some better, doper content, which will be happening very, very soon. But when it comes to this, sometimes we see a take that is just so hot that I literally like burn my hand by even trying to read it on my monitor screen. And this was the one that people are now saying that Microsoft should literally just go and give up on the Xbox itself, and literally just go and sell the entire Xbox branding to Sony and just go and give up. Now, I wish I could be kind of joking on this one, and I kind of hope it is, because it just is so stupid and so wrong and so dumb that I just don't even know what to really say at this at the end of the day. So we're going to go and obviously go and roast this, and obviously go and probably anyone with a brain realized that this would probably never work, would not even be a real thing. I don't even know what to even really go and say in this one. So we're going to go talk about this, talk about everything, talk about the drama, talk about how some people online should not have access to keyboards, and well, let's go and just talk about this. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Let me know if you guys also think that Microsoft should just go and completely give up and sell the Xbox to the PlayStation company. And if you do, please maybe go and just never comment on my videos ever again, because good golly gracious, what are you thinking? We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below, the Target Amazon links down below, and let's do a deep dive into the madness itself, where Microsoft should just go and literally give up on the Xbox, sell it to Sony, move on, retire to Costa Rica, and never make a video game like Halo ever again. So we have an article over here from Game Central over for Metro, where they now have people that are writing saying that basically Activision Blizzard acquisition, if it goes, like it doesn't go through, Microsoft just can't go and buy it for whatever reason, Call of Duty just ends, you just can't go buy it, can't go get the World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, whatever's making trillions of dollars, then Microsoft should just go and give up and literally go and sell everything to Sony. Bro, what is I think like anyone who clicked on this video, I hope to God you guys are in the same boat as me. We're just like, what is this? Like, is this just the ramblings of like a madman? What is going on here? So they say, over the last few weeks, there's been a lot of discussion about Microsoft losing its grip on its Xbox business. And all honesty, it's been kind of true though. If you guys been watching my videos, I've been definitely dissecting Xbox a little bit more than I probably should. There's been a lot of drama, a lot of negativity, a lot of weirdities, like a lot of just even soft locks when it comes to the Activision acquisition, where just everything's been kind of, well, weird. It's kind of been strange, kind of weird. And when we come and go through all of this stuff, it is strange, because people are obviously seeing that Xbox is kind of faltering. There hasn't really been any good games, maybe besides Hi-Fi Rush. Game Pass has been losing subs, Game Pass is making people lose money, and well, Microsoft stock has been doing mediocre, their AI has been mediocre, Xbox itself has been going dogging everywhere, and it's just not been a past good month. We've also had massive layoffs on the gaming department, on Halo Infinite. Everything's been going bust for Xbox recently. While PlayStation's been not necessarily kind of, doing a lot, but it's been trucking along. And well, with this one, they're saying they're serious right now that they basically want to go and just have Microsoft give up on the exposition, stop going, try to failing the attempts on Activision Blizzard, and move on. So they say that I have no idea if the acquisition is going to go through. I'm kind of still indifferent, because it seems like a lot of these big internet companies like the FTC and stuff like that are not happy with this for the monopoly laws, but we can go and see. They go and say, but since they're incomparably rich, I thought it went without saying that they would get what they want. But if nothing else, they're certainly being made to sweat about it. I guess that's the most likely outcome, is that they're forced to make even more concessions to Sony, potentially making the deal not even worthwhile. Which I do think we've been hearing a lot of rumors of them doing like secret meetings and secret interactions and trying to go do these underground board deal meetings to somehow make this deal go through. Because right now it does seem like it hinges a lot on what Sony has to say. That doesn't mean that Sony should be literally buying Xbox though, but it is important to note that Sony does play a big part in this. Even if it does go through, they've wasted the last year hammering it out, and their games lineup clearly has suffered as a result, which is also kind of true. They just haven't had any good games come out, and I think the overall Xbox and Game Pass community has been a little bit on the mediocre side. You might say it's a coincidence that while all the Activision Blizzard stuff has been going on, Microsoft has released no games of note. But other than recurring news stories over the last year has been a poor management across multiple Xbox studios. True or not, nothing's been produced at the moment, and I feel like Microsoft is beginning to loosen its grip on its situation. Now, I was saying this is the ramblings of a madman, but they might actually have a point. Now, do I think Xbox should be selling to Sony? No. Would that ever even go through? No. Is it even worth considering? No. But this person does actually have a pretty good point, where Xbox has been kind of getting dogged on. It's kind of been not doing so good. We need like a good bump up from Xbox, because it just seems like there's been so much negativity press all coming out. Imagine that the Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through, And Microsoft has wasted all that time, money, and effort, which is probably millions upon millions of dollars at this point, from lawyer fees and travel fees and not making games and promotions and marketing and everything in between. They would imagine that there are going to be some serious questions asked to boss Phil Spencer, who, as one reader pointed out this week, has been in charge of Xbox for almost a decade now. While he usually says all the right things, he has little to show for it this time in charge, except for a bunch of new developers that haven't released anything yet and a lot of folks getting laid off. Microsoft as a wider company is currently obsessed with ChatGPT, which I actually made a video on earlier on today if you missed it, and the fact that Bing is finally relevant and being used by people. It's easy to forget how massive Microsoft is and how gaming is just a tiny part of what they do, and in terms of profit, completely irrelevant. If Xbox continues to show little growth and the gamble on buying Activision Blizzard doesn't pay off, I think some serious questions are going to be asked, just as apparently we're following the failure of the Xbox One. So the answer to these questions would be simple. And this is where the ramblings of a madman, myself included, begin. Sell the Xbox business to Sony. They may be a much smaller company than Microsoft, but the Xbox division is well within their ability to afford, especially if it's being sold off because it's in trouble. Bro, for just references, the Sony as of right now market cap is around $100 billion, which is big. Like, that's a big company, don't get me wrong over here. You know, it's worth some pretty good money. They're making a lot of money too as well. Like, they're making some good buckaroos. Like, it's a pretty good, profitable, long-term company. But the one big thing is that Microsoft is worth literally trillions of dollars. I mean, Xbox alone, worth a lot of money. And also don't forget that Xbox itself is also a big competitor to PlayStation. Bro, there is no way to even theorize on the idea that Sony might ever potentially buy out Xbox unless it's like 15 years down the road and Sony becomes even more of a mega corp. Like, Sony's a big company, but Microsoft is literally Microsoft. So first and foremost, Xbox has been faltering. Like, I think we all know this if you have an Xbox yourself. A lot of folks like it. Like, there's games coming. We got Redfall. We had Hi-Fi Rush. We have, like, the Forzas coming out. Like, there is stuff coming in the near future. But one of the bigger issues is the fact of, like, well, we still gotta wait a little while longer for a few of these other various games to come out, and just in general. So, yeah, they're slacking, but are they gonna go and sell anywhere else? Probably not. At the end of the day, probably not. So you may say that Microsoft should sell it to Google or Amazon or some other mega corporation, but those are Microsoft's direct competitors. Sony isn't, and I'm kind of surprised on that one because it is kind of true in terms of like cloud scaling and Amazon hosting and everything in between, which is probably printing more money than Xbox actually is. Funny enough, I'm actually surprised this person's actually in point for that one too, but it is true. Like, the hosting is where everything's expanding. AWS, Azure, those are all the big money makers right now, and all these huge tech companies, because everyone's moving to online and tech and hosting and games and cloud streaming, and that's the most important thing, a very good, stable server. But it is true. Like, Xbox is the most random Microsoft subsidiary if you think about it. Like, they have all this stuff for, like, say, Office. Then you have, like, Bing. You know, we have all this online stuff for business and Google searches, Windows into Bing together, ChatGPT for coding for your Windows questions, Bing for your questions. You have like Office, you have the hosting of all these websites as you're using your like online Windows PC. All these things put together, they make sense. It's understandable. We get it. We know why it's there. And that's why it's an intriguing thing, because we all kind of sit here and realize that, yeah, it is technically not really the biggest competitor. Like, right now they are huge competitors as is, but if they just kind of chucked out Xbox and they just sold it all to PlayStation, just become the biggest mega corp of gaming known to man. Now, is that ever gonna happen? God, no. I'm not even sure why I'm even entertaining the idea of this guy's comments, but it's just, like, it's more fun to go and say and see stuff like this and the crazy, weird speculation than doing the same video that Microsoft is kind of has to make some games and PlayStation has a really good exclusives. But this guy, like, although is the ramblings of a madman, this would almost make you want to imagine the crazy world of what would happen if PlayStation and Xbox became a megacorp, combined and just completely took over like Nintendo. Like, they would just beat up Nintendo in an alleyway or something like that. I don't know. But I don't think this will ever happen. I don't think Xbox is going to go and sell their cash cow. Although it's not doing as well this last quarter in terms of console sales or Game Pass subscriptions, it is still making money and it is still doing well and they are still doing fantastic. But at the end of the day, they still have a lot of work to go through and a lot of things they probably have to make sure works before anything else happens. And I just can't go and see Sony having enough money to buy Xbox, any government body allowing it, or as well even Microsoft getting rid of their nice little Xbox cash cow, because at the end of the day, even if this Activision deal does not go through, don't forget the Activision's like a $70 billion company, and while Sony is up there and has a lot of stuff with TVs, cameras, and PlayStation, bro, Activision is almost even outside of their budget too, as well. This is like a strategic merger. So I don't know, it's kind of fun to see some crazy thoughts. Xbox does have to step up their stuff, but at the same time, I don't think it's falling enough that Sony has to go and, have to buy them out, or that Xbox has to be sold, but it's always fun to go and think about the future of if we have a megacorp happen for all the gaming worlds. Like, imagine playing Halo on PS5. Kind of dope. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have all the Target, Amazon links too, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching, and make sure you guys don't go and randomly buy Xbox for some odd reason.